And now we move on to the next portion of the show, the ghosts of gaming. Honestly, it's my favorite part besides maybe the body cam part. And since I got you here, if you haven't left a like on this video yet, you better leave a like. It means a lot to me. I love you. Damn it.
The smoke is breathing dust under busted priceless glass. One more token in my hand, but the cabinet won't last. The screen keeps chewing names with a hungry static grin. You left your mark in ash, then the whole place caved back in. Hear the hum in the walls, hear the buckle of drag. With every winter thing, every lost time back. Ghosts of the game, the decay is on fire. It's so rotten and forgotten, it's all corrupting and revolting. Ghosts of the game, you keep pulling me higher. It's so rotten and forgotten, it's all corrupting and revolting.
There's been a lot of controversy when it comes to Halo Campaign Evolved and the lack of players playing the game, at least on Steam concurrently, and the feedback and dislike overall of updates and just from it. And I've seen many people saying, why can't we just get the original devs back together? You know, one more time, put the team together and make one great game to send everyone off with Halo. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. And that's what I want to talk about in this video, starting with Niles Sankey, someone who I've covered multiple times
That's a name
on this channel, and someone who has been very vocal when it comes to the most recent Halo, because this guy actually worked on Halo 3 and other games in the series. He was also formerly Monolith and Bungie before they died. And he knows quite a bit about the background of Halo and just giving some people some really hard pills to swallow. So we're going to go through this, but it's not just him. After he started this thread, other Halo devs came in and joined in on the conversation. I found this fascinating. He said, as someone who worked at old school Bungie in its heyday, I just want to be honest about the hire the old Halo devs back. Hard to swallow pill.
I don't think they want to come back, and honestly, I don't want them to come back, because fuck Halo. They should all get together and make a spiritual successor.
It would be very different possible to resurrect the old magic, and it's very unlikely this will ever happen. By the way, this is not limited to Halo. This is generally true of most creative endeavors and multiple collaborative mediums.
We used to know this. The games industry used to know this. That's why we would have Crash Bandicoot, and then we move on from Crash Bandicoot into Jak and Daxter, and we could see it literally, Jak and Daxter, at the same time as the new Crash Bandicoot games. They just weren't very good, and Jak and Daxter was killing it. I'm glad they ended Jak and Daxter before it got shitified. They had one game that I heard was kind of mid. It was the very last one. I didn't play it.
So yes, I know I'm talking about Halo at the start of this, but this really does speak to the greater concerns and problems video game industry at.
Yeah, stop doing Gears of War. Gears of War E-Day was such a fucking awful idea. They should have done something else that was the spiritual successor.
Large, and why a lot of people are saying just get the old teams back together to make the games the way they used to be.
No, just
the old teams are off retired right now, or too split up, or have been completely wokeified. And many of these developers were originally based, and as time went on, people like, I don't know, Neil Druckmann could say, for example, meet someone like Anita Sarkeesian, and from Last of Us 1 to Last of Us Part 2, we see a jarring difference in storyline, we'll just say. Niles confused. He says, here's why. The devs are not the same people they once were. People change, tastes change, and personal priorities. They're likely not as hungry and driven as they once were. They also, many times, start families and have other priorities too.
Yeah, they're passionless for the video game that they're making.
It doesn't mean they're less talented, but they're just not the same too. The magic of old school Bungie was very specific formula of talents and personality type. You generally need a % of this old formula for success. Remove one piece, you might not. Remove multiple, the formula collapses. You could feel the slow degradation of Bungie over the Destiny years. It was a death by 1,000, 5 to 10 specifics that doomed the studio.
Honestly, you could feel the degradation of Bungie throughout the Halo series. Once Halo Reach came out, people fucking hated it, man. People loved it. I loved it. But it did make a lot of changes, and it added those, the loadouts. It added, sprint and jetpack, all that. And it just kind of was getting away from feeling like Halo.
You can't just hire a few old school devs and expect it's going to be like the good old days. 3, many of the old schoolers didn't like working with, or they grew to resent it. This is a very common trend in creative production. Great,
especially corporate creative productions.
Movies are made by people that ended up hating it. Great albums are made by artists that will never speak. Once again, game dev teams are like a high drama family that isn't bonded by blood. Some of the most insanely talented people I know don't like each other, but both were required for success.
This is why Borderlands 3 sucked so hard, is because right at the beginning of it, everybody hated each other and they all just split up and it sucked.
It's just a fact of life and the human condition. And that extends beyond video game development.
We get one of the greatest games of all time, Borderlands 2, and they couldn't keep it together for Borderlands 3, which I don't know how I feel about it. I'm never going back to play Borderlands 3, probably.
Sphere.
Definitely not playing Borderlands 4.
I've noticed that in just YouTube circles as well. Sometimes some of the greatest productions out there with great talents, together on scene, they work great, but behind this is a shit show. It happens more often than you think.
Game Grumps, the original Game Grumps, now I think everybody for the most part is friends, except for the side characters that, came and went.
4, I'm not...
Also, Oni Plays. Ding Dong and Julian, they had a falling out.
Convinced that most gamers actually want another innovative Halo game. I think they mainly want to recapture things they had back in the day. They want nostalgia.
Yeah.
But Halo games were very forward thinking at the time. It's hard to resolve nostalgia with innovation. Many of the old devs are they would make changes that would upset the fan base. This presents a monkey's paw situation. Holy shit. These are very hard pills to swallow. All that said, I do think Microsoft should 100% be consulting old school Halo devs. I agree with that. It's been very foolish not to. It would be beneficial, but I would only expect marginal return.
Yeah, just kill the franchise. It's over.
It's not going to the fundamental.
Move on to something else. Make some new Halo games that aren't Master Chief based, maybe. But they're not going to be able to do that because we all saw what they do whenever they make new characters.
No problem. Please don't read this post as a black pill. I'm simply giving my honest views based on my experiences, and it's always better to have realistic expectations. I'm actually very optimistic. The future is very bright.
Not for Halo.
Agree. And you guys who have been watching my videos for a while now, I hope I've gotten that vibe across to you. As much of a shit show as it's in the current time right now.
Just at the big players. Underneath the canopy that is the corporate entertainment industry, everything's going great.
I am very positive feeling about the pendulum swinging back, and the changes don't happen overnight. You don't just wake up and roll out of bed one day and have the game functioning perfectly.
Yeah, it's going to be a realization. We're going to wake up and be like, oh shit, things have been going good for a while. What the fuck? When is everything going to fall apart again? Because I know it's going to happen.
But I'd like to think the step-by-step, death by 1,000 paper cuts simplification of the industry is currently happening. And slowly but surely, the tide is turning. Elite game development is alive and well.
I actually think that it's going to get worse and better at the same time. I think we're going to get the Chud victory games, and I think they're going to wokeify shit even harder because they're desperate.
It resides in the hearts of young developers who are passionate and willing to sacrifice their livelihoods to change the world. We just need more resources pushed in their direction. As always, I encourage everyone to support honest indie game dev. Holy shit. What an incredible,
that is a historical post right there.
Wow. The Kingard says, OG Halo Dev says it's unlikely to get early Halo Bungie magic back just by bringing the original team together. If somebody asked me to work with the same exact team again from my first big career break, I'd flat out tell you no. That's a good point. How many of you think about that from your own personal? If you started out of college or out of high school and your first career was amazing and it peaked at your life, everything was perfect back then, And then 20 years go by, 30 years go by, and you have a family, you've changed careers, you do different things. And then people are like, we need you to get back together with that.
Yeah, when sitting on the porch and drinking coffee sounds fun to you, yeah, I don't know if you should be making games anymore, buddy.
Original group that you had. How many people would actually, I think in theory it sounds great. In reality, we made great stuff and absolutely crudged together, but he's right. Passions, relationships, skills, and priorities change over time. The next best thing would be just one person returning who could have the interest in leading a team of bright-eyed, bushy-tailed devs who are fans of Halo.
Right there. Who are fans of Halo. Not people who hate it and want to change it. Not people who think that guns are bad in a fucking first-person shooter game.
If we can't get that, just fans of Halo that aren't jaded by 15 years of fighting with their fans. If we can't get that, then give it to somebody else.
Like Activision, that's what I heard was happening, which I'm going to talk about that after this video.
Halo Studios
got one lined up.
Is none of these things. Banger post. Wholeheartedly agree.
So
and we also
true.
got Horror Omerata. One thing you didn't cover is environment. Working at Bungie now is likely worlds different from back when you did more rules, more top-down, etc. AAA.
More contractors, so there's like less actual work being done by the people around you.
Gaming is suffering partially because they try to formalize success, and the problem is you can't. So much of it depends on messy, unpredictable process that you can't just recreate the process, even if they include insanely talented.
And you got to stop working on tech demos. That's what they're doing.
Just part of my
The people who are actually, you know, in quotes, having talent are making tech demos for the game. That guy that worked on a new technology for how the environment is generated with those particles, that's pretty cool. But you did that instead of making a good game.
observation as a longtime gamer. And I love this classic hardcore wokeified dude that identifies as a dinosaur that got fired from Epic Games working on Fortnite, Evanosaurus, who literally dresses as a dinosaur. He said this is very true. Like, bro, this guy needs to get the fuck out of gaming. He's like, yeah, I'm with you. Like, no, bro, we ain't talking about you. You be the fucking door, bro. Niall Seggy says, worth the repost because this is 100% the development and social culture so much different in a bad way. Yeah, because we got people like
everybody agrees.
This dude in the industry, principal engineer at Survivor the Ark, ex-Epic Games, Fortnite, him with rainbows. Yeah, make silly games, bro. Yeah, I bet you agree with the environment. Anyways, Marty O'Donnell, the legend himself, composer, and the guy behind hiring many of the popular part of the original Halo.
Currently being canceled right now by the leftoids because he's running for Congress as a Republican.
Says Niles is
got canceled from multiple events.
right. It was one brief shining moment. Let it never be. Niles quote tweeting Marcus Leto here. He says, this is true. Bungie has always been an evolving company. Credit to Marcus for being a creative director who was always open to new ideas that pushed them to evolve. Reach was built on a diverse set of ideas from many. Marcus knew when to apply creative input and also when to people around him. That's extremely rare.
And they were looking at other astronomical successes for influence back then. Now, whenever they look at the astronomical successes, it's stuff like the current Call of Duty instead of Modern Warfare 1 and 2 and Black Ops. Now it's looking at games like Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's looking at games like Wolverine. How many games are going to be made because of Wolverine? Holy shit, dude.
And this is Marcus. A counter to this is that Bungie was never the same, was always evolving up and down. As a leader, I would focus on building an environment where the devs, new and old, can play and create a new brand magic. Very well said. Shout out to Marcus. Niles retweeting Jamie Greisner, and he says, this one of the original developers as well. Honestly, the reason I moved on from the franchise after Halo 3 was because I had no idea where it should go next either. The story was told. The gameplay was perfected, as in completely realized, not flawless. The concept had been explored. Time to drift off into the sunset.
Yes.
Reach was a fun
But they couldn't do that because they're leaving money on the table.
denouement, but not for a new trilogy. It was foolish to try to make Halo the tentpole game going forward. If you need a good laugh, I shared this earlier if you hadn't seen it yet. So
You know what they should have done, really? And nobody fucking does this. There's very few devs that actually do this, where they go back to their old games and make new stuff for the old games. They could make new DLC. They can make new story missions that are part of, like, say, Halo 3. Not redo Halo 3 and then add missions to it. No, actually go back to Halo 3, add missions to Halo 3, and not change shit. Which, honestly, they'd still make it wokeified because they're all a bunch of wokies. Nobody's going to work for a current corporation.
This Nikki G guy says, you should really look up the development of Combat Evolved. Microsoft had a major hand in development from the jump. A lot of
Microsoft from back then, not current Microsoft. Huge difference.
A lot of things you like about Halo comes from Microsoft being heavily involved, whether good or bad. He got community noted. User is responding to Jamie Graysmer, who was the lead designer on several Halo titles and was the designer for Halo Combat. I don't think I've ever seen notes burn someone to a crisp this much.
I love when people say that kind of shit to me. It's like, well, if you don't like the current gaming industry, why don't you make a game?
This random guy coming in talking to one of the
Nah, I'd rather bitch about him.
OG Halo developers. Hey, you should really look up the development of Combat Evolved. Bro, you're talking to the guy that...
Yeah, people pretending that they know anything about the topic that you're speaking on and don't even realize who you are because they like to pretend that they're smarter than everybody else. We used to call these types of people know-it-alls.
Created it. Oh, it's amazing. Jamie, you should really look up the development of Combat Evolved, the names of the dev team. I have. He doubles down. I have numerous times, literally again before I commented, just so I'm getting my history right. Mostly of Bungie folks and Microsoft folks, roughly 40 people total. This next part is my opinion. I don't think you get campaign evolved as we know it without Microsoft's involvement. And he gets responded by Shredded Nerd with his name, Sir, the creator designer. Oh my God. It's Jay Viper. This is account deletion level of embarrassment.
That's pretty good. Yeah, you're going to be famous for that tweet. Nothing else in your life will make you more famous than that tweet.
Oh my God. When I saw that initially, I was fucking crying. Anyways, Grub says, Halo Dev says we can never get Halo again by hiring the people change. Team didn't actually get along. Not hungry enough. Special mix of talent and skill hard to reassemble. People want old Halo. OG wants innovation. I'll add my two as a former OG WoW lead. Niles is right. We worked insane hours on it. We were hungry to prove ourselves. Most of the team isn't in or can't anymore. Exactly. This is back when like most of the dudes were.
What I'm hearing from all these people, they all have one thing in common. They don't work for the corporations anymore.
Dudes, single.
Or at least this corporation, the corporations they're speaking on.
No kids, fresh out of high school or in some cases college, and computer nerds. They just had all the time in the world and loved gaming. And
computer nerds when it felt good to be a computer nerd. Now it doesn't feel so good.
Now those same people have moved on from what they were doing to start families and move further on in their careers somewhere else. Some are running.
And now we're in a world of social media and AI.
Studios, some are running other places. Some have changed careers completely. You're asking them to give that all up and go back and spend countless hours doing what they were doing when they got out of high school? That's a tall order. There were huge egos, fights. People were mad enough to and go found companies. Wins. People also changed. Chris Benson, the core of WoW's lore, now regrets ever putting the word war in Warcraft. Oh, that's a whole nother thing I covered previously. People pass away. WoW's art director, Bill Pitch, sadly left us. Also, Blizzard would never give us the absolute freedom we had ever again. We could do nearly anything with little oversight.
And they weren't spending $500 million to make a game.
Today,
so there were more risks that you could take.
It would be a nightmare of executive presentations and HR meetings. But the spirit and ideas remain. We know what made WoW great, what made Halo great. And anyone can take those ideas and run with it. Especially with the advent of AI, there's lots of potential for many more people.
I think it's coming very, very soon where we'll be able to remake old games ourselves using AI. Not having to wait for somebody to make a game with AI like Campaign Evolved. We'll be able to do it ourselves. And we'll be better because we don't have corporate ties.
Laura, who's also a developer, an indie developer, she says, another great post by Niles, touching on something that not many people understand. It's not simply a matter of putting the old team back together. Even the people who made the games you love have changed. Instead of hoping that the same old heroes will return and resurrect the old games the way you remember them, it's better to find and support new blood that is carrying the spirit of those beloved games. It's bittersweet. It just makes you remember, like, when you catch lightning in a bottle It really is just that, like a one-time thing, and it will just randomly happen
Well, it was a 5-time thing, but yeah.
throughout the ages of game creation. And
Because they made 5 great games and then just left us with that. And I'm sure that if they would have been able to make one more game, it just would not have been as good.
and cherish it when it does happen.
I mean, they moved on to make Destiny, and that was an absolute failure at the beginning.
Justin says, I think a bitter pill to swallow in this era of endless remakes, reboots, is that it's okay to let franchises come and go.
Yes, and it's okay to just let them die, but corporations can't do that because the IPs make money.
Games aren't meant to reflect a certain period they were made and who for, not meant to live as forever content. It can be immortalized, but not immortal. We have an interview that was shared with me. This is Marty O'Donnell having a conversation with Niles Sankey, talking about leaving Bungie, designing Halo, Unreal experiences. This is the Marty O'Donnell show. I'm definitely not going to react to all this right now. It's 2 hours, but I will link the full video in the description of this one.
I didn't know that he had a show. I'm going to have to go and subscribe to that.
But let's listen to what they have to say a little bit. I love this music. Just the music gives
Hello,
you
everybody.
chills.
Welcome to the Marty O'Donnell Show. This week, it's all about games, and very specifically, my guest is Niles Sankey, who was one of my favorite designers during my time at Bungie. He has a really interesting story of how he got into the game business, how he became a fan of Halo and Bungie, and how he worked his way finally to join us about halfway through Halo 3's production. So I learned all sorts of stuff about Niles that somehow I never knew while he was working with me. So it's a fascinating, for me at least, it's a fascinating interview. I found out all sorts of stuff I didn't know about the inner workings of design on Halo 3 and Reach, and also his new independent studio that he has. So let's get right into it. Everybody, it's Niles Sankey. Hello, everybody. This is the Marty O'Donnell Show. I've already given an introduction to this great guy who's with me, Niles Sankey. Niles, I won't repeat any of the glorious things I've already said in my intro for you. So, but welcome to the show. It's such a pleasure to see your shining face again.
Hey, Marty. Yeah, it's good to finally be on your show. And hello, everyone. And I think we were originally gonna do this interview like a year ago, and apparently we got busy with some stuff, I guess. And
it's nothing important. It's, whatever. It's another sort of crazy. Hey, Marty decides to do something. What's he doing now?
Changing the world again.
Running for office
it's
now,
fun
too.
Because there are some people out there who, I don't think Marty has any friends from Bungie. He's blah blah blah. And I'm like, actually, there's a lot of folks that were with me at Bungie that are still my friends, regardless of anything that I do politically or anything else I do. They're still friends.
Yeah, like normal people.
And you're one of them, and I appreciate you coming on. It's great.
Normal people don't give a fuck about what other people's politics are.
And you've been
For those that don't know, by the way, Marty is an outspoken Republican, and a lot of the games industry has just outright shunned this guy because of just that.
And venues.
Which that in itself speaks volumes from current state of where you can't even have a political stance without being shunned from the game. And that's crazy. Marty is so down to earth, an all-around great guy. He's been a guest on this channel multiple times, and
Can't have that.
Genuinely respect his thoughts and ideas.
Yeah, that's the problem. He's a good guy. You can't be a good person and be in the leftoid culture.
Do I agree with everything he says? Pretty much. I don't think I've had a moment where he said something I disagreed
I haven't seen anything I disagree with yet.
with. So yeah, so far, yes, I agree with pretty much everything.
in half of the time you were in Japan. I mean, you're doing all sorts of stuff now.
Yeah, I think the last time that a year ago I was in Japan, and it's probably for the best that it's now, since I have a better internet connection, since I was up in the mountains of Japan, and I did some interviews there, and they didn't actually turn out very good because my voice was coming in, ducking in and out because of the internet connection. But that actually gave me an excuse. I did an interview, and then I gave me an excuse to clarify what I had talked about in the interview. And that's kind of what pushed me to kick off my YouTube channel.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And I was reviewing against some of your videos. I mean, I love the depth of detail that you go into in terms of the levels you worked on in Halo 3. I think so far, is it mostly the Storm level that?
You know what I think is funny? I think it's funny how all of these creators get pushed out of the gaming industry because of their political views or whatever, cultural views, whatever. And then they're like, fine, I'll go off and do my own thing. And then they make more money than they would have if they would have been in that corporation. And the corporations lose out on that. I love it.
You've really exposed? Or
Yeah. I plan on doing trying to do just general retrospectives for all the games that I've worked on. And I thought it would be best to start with Halo 3, just because there's just so much interest in Halo 3.
I will link Niall's YouTube channel in the description of this as well. I think this is a great way to rekindle the love for the old games. Instead of trying to ask for them to come back together, watch their videos talking about what it was like and play the old games. Maybe it's just that simple.
Turn on the old game and put this podcast on in the background.
Have you ever wanted to know how Bungie made games like Halo and Destiny? My name is Niall Sankey, and I've been a game developer for over 25 years, 9 of those years at Bungie working on Halo and Destiny. In this video, I'm going to take you on a deep dive into the mission design for Halo 3. Yeah, I worked on two missions on Halo 3.
I might have to go check that out.
I want to watch that video now.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he had that. That's awesome.
Partway through Halo 3 in 2006, I think, at Bungie. And so I decided, let me just go in sort of chronological order. And so I started with the Storm, which was the first mission I worked on. And I tried to go into a lot of details, and I tried to actually produce a good sort of retrospective experience because, I guess just being a designer or entertainer, I guess is in my blood. So I kind of just want to make an entertaining experience. So I put a lot of work into that. I interviewed some folks I hadn't talked to in 20 years. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I planned on doing the next video was going to be the Covenant, which was the other mission I worked on for Halo 3.
Okay.
But there was, for some reason, I don't know how, I sort of decided, well, maybe I could do another mission that wasn't mine and treat it more like a bit of a documentary. And so my next video is actually going to be on the mission, The Ark. And so that's the mission right before the Covenant. And it was great because, again, I actually expanded the number of people I talked to and reached out to everyone from Francois to Mike Wu. And so the project, the YouTube channel, has actually been this additional sort of blessing that it got me to actually reach out to some of the people that I was so close to at Bungie. Yeah. And for the purpose of making this video. But it was weird, talking to people like Rob Stokes, it's almost like not a day had passed, right?
Right.
All these people need to come together and make an indie game, in my opinion.
It was just
not like a big Halo game, just something fun, just to, spark the passion again. Because I think sometimes when you get old men together who made something great, they can still make something great when they come back together for nostalgia purposes.
It's like we were hanging out back at the Kirkland office when I was working with Rob Stokes. He was my manager. And honestly, the doing this project, interesting, listening, when I sort of listened to all, the final, product of the final edit of this video, it almost feels like being back in the Kirkland Ace Hardware building that we worked at. It almost feels like you're back there with the group. So I feel like these videos are kind of one of the closest things that we can give to people to give just the essence of working on the Halo 3 team.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's probably a good way to leave this because it goes into a 2-hour conversation.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out while I'm playing games later.
Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, do I have a video in store for you today. Halo's brand new rumored developers Activision have released a game.
Usually when big rumors like this come out and reach the masses, it's probably true when it comes to video games. I think this is probably true. Why wouldn't it be? Halo Studios is an absolute failure.
This is very, very important for the Halo community because this is a glimpse at what we may get if Activision end up making a Halo game. Every year, I try the beta of the new Call of Duty that comes out. Every year, I am underwhelmed by what I play, and if you ever wanted a video where I go through every...
Yeah, it just makes me want to play the old ones, which I'm doing. currently because I have an Xbox 360 with the bad update.
Everything that is wrong with modern gaming, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 is it. Guys, in the past, I literally did a video that says Activision, the worst gaming company in the world. I am very measured, I am very reserved, so for me to actually say that, I feel means a lot. I jumped into the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta because I was very, very curious if these guys get a crack at making a Halo game. God help us all. If you ever wanted a video game that is a brain rot simulator, Modern Warfare 4 is your game. Why do I say this? Well, let me go through it. In the Modern Warfare 4 beta, every single map is almost like Nuketown. Now, if you haven't played any sort of Call of Duty, Nuketown 24/7 was basically used as one, spawn kill simulator, but two, you would use it to your weapons, unlock skins.
And it was in every fucking Call of Duty.
It is very similar to the map called Shipment, which is a square with a bunch of shipping containers.
Which is very similar to the map called Rust from Modern Warfare 2. That's where all this started.
Single map on the Modern Warfare 4 beta is extremely close quarters, 6v6, instant respawn, people spawn behind you. It is horrible. I don't know what the developers or the executives were thinking when they made this game. There is changes to the aim assist for controller on this game where you actually aim at the person before they even come around the wall. I had it happen to me and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Once I saw that, I swapped to a sniper almost immediately because at least you have to aim with a sniper rifle. But in saying that, I've never seen a Call of Duty game be received worse. I don't want Activision to fail upwards and then get given Halo to work on, and then we get a sloppified version of Halo that is even worse than we've had before. Thankfully, Discord Nitro gives you a free code to the Modern Warfare 4 beta. I've never seen that before, but you Discord. I would not be surprised if this was the worst selling Call of Duty in history. Already half the population on Steam has left within a day. Also today,
shit. Is this going to be the marathon version of Call of Duty?
We're going to talk about the skill-based matchmaking. It is the most egregious thing I have ever seen in a modern video game.
I hate skill-based matchmaking.
Halo Infinite had it. Gears of War and Marathon surprisingly didn't have it, and it was quite relaxing, which is great to see. Black Ops 7, the previous Call of Duty, didn't have it, but with Modern Warfare 4, Activision have cranked the skill-based matchmaking 11. Now, I have no problem versing good people ordinarily. The problem I have with skill-based matchmaking is it actually makes your own teammates worse.
I like random matchmaking.
Basically forcing you to lose. For Call of Duty specifically though, it has a really big problem that Halo actually doesn't have. When you get very, very strict skill-based matchmaking on Call of Duty, it forces anybody who is remotely good at the game to use only a of weapons. If you decide to go outside the meta weaponry, do so at your own peril because you're going to have a horrible time. Everybody you come up against is going to be using the meta guns, the most overpowered of the overpowered. It is funny because I wanted to test the theory. If I didn't use a meta weapon and I use, say, a sniper rifle. My KD when I was using a sniper rifle was only 1 to 1.5. The sniper wasn't great. The marksman rifles are easier to aim with. Would that affect the skill-based matchmaking?
I guarantee you, they're literally just gonna make a Call of Duty Halo game. It's gonna be Call of Duty with a Halo skin over it, and it's gonna be fast-paced. There's gonna be loadouts, all kinds of shit.
And no, it really didn't. Regardless of my performance, every single game was against the best of the best. I was surprised actually I even got enough gameplay for this video that
They're gonna double down on everything everybody hated about Halo Reach.
I played for 12 hours straight and I actually got some highlights that I can say, yes, I did it. But I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was exhausted. I said this to FaZe Scope, or he's not in FaZe anymore. I said this to Scope, probably the best sniper in Call of Duty. Man, I don't know how you do this. I don't know how you play this all the time. I would actually be exhausted 24/7 if I had to play this all the time. And then I actually checked what people were saying about the game online. Those sentiments were getting echoed across the board. Call of Duty actually published some information about the skill-based matchmaking, saying when they opened it for Black Ops 7, people just left in droves. Something to be considered for the Call of Duty and Activision developers here. If you make it so strict that it is so off-putting that people don't even load up the game, does your algorithm actually factor that in? If the population is halved in a single day, which is not a good sign, and the matchmaking system is so egregiously bad, yes, maybe the data shows that we're quitting, but does it actually take into account how many people just aren't going to play full stop? And that would account for the massive drop off of a cliff.
I ain't playing Call of Duty, and I am a huge Call of Duty fan. Huge for everything that came out Black Ops 2 and before. I haven't played anything since Black Ops 2. I mean, I played a little bit of stuff. I played MW and MW2, the new versions of them. Yeah, they were all right. I disliked MW2 more than MW1 of the new ones. And it wasn't hitting for me. and there were too many ads. There were too many like things to buy. I hate storefronts.
Of population you guys are seeing. It is a real shame because mechanically the gun hit registration is great. The kill block game mode where it's 10v10 on a ever-changing map, one life, that is actually quite fun. There is little nuggets of things I really enjoy about the game. But since the matchmaking system,
I want a game that comes out and it's just out and it's finished. And maybe like 1, 2, 3, or 4 DLC packs. Nothing else. No other extras. I don't even want free content dripped into the game. I want the solid game. And if I want DLC, I pay for the DLC. And that's fucking it.
Is so bad that all gets washed away. I always try to be constructive. I always try to give measured feedback. I truly believe this will be the worst selling Call of Duty history. Yearly release after yearly release.
After they promised they weren't going to do that.
After yearly release, not only are people fatigued of the Call of Duty franchise, which means...
What is Call of Duty even anymore? Is it just the first-person shooter online game? Is that all it is? Yes. It's just generic as fuck.
May actually get sent to Halo. That could be an absolute nightmare, guys, but we will see. But people are also fatigued the crackhead-like movement where everyone is running around like it's world championships. Ironically, on the other side of this, Black Ops 1 and 2 recently released or re-released as a port. That sold over 8 million copies and had a really high population. It has the old school matchmaking that Call of Duty, Halo, Gears of War, every single game
You notice how he's not twitching the fuck around?
Had, and even to this day, with the re-release, 8 million sales on Black Ops 2, 3 to 5 million on Black Ops 1. Black Ops 1 came out in 2010.
It has more weight.
This egregious skill-based matchmaking isn't going to equal a better population for your game. You need to make a better game. Focus on what made your franchise so great in the first place, and I'm saying this to Call of Duty and Halo. Focus on doing the fundamentals well, and thirdly, have a strong enough content offering that people will actually want to play your game. The slice, the preview that I actually got to play, was not great. The maps were probably the weakest Call of Duty maps I have ever seen. It actually crossed my mind if they were made by AI. So the AI has seen, oh, Nuketown and Shipment are the most popular maps. How can we make a map that is very similar to them? It completely destroys the combat loop. There is no combat loop anymore. There is no strategy. It is just a meat grinder where 95% of players will have a 1 KD, spawn die, the enemy will respawn behind you, spawn die some more. Not only this, and this is where Halo does come into it, Call of Duty actually had a very good idea. They made a separate Twitter account for their community managers. That means if you need to talk to a community manager, pass on feedback, or you have things to show said developers, you have a dedicated place to send feedback, and that's a really good idea.
It sounds like a really good idea, but they don't know how to handle community feedback, because anybody who has actual real criticism is just labeled as a hater.
In concept, they didn't use it for that. Instead, Activision and Call of Duty decided to insult said players.
See what I mean, man? They can't take real criticism. They just label real criticism as haters if they hear things that they don't like.
What the hell are you guys doing? If people are already not happy,
real good talented people don't work for corporations.
With your game, they're not happy with fundamental mechanics in your game, and then you come out and start being a smartass to said players, you're just asking for it to get screenshotted and just get roasted into oblivion.
What is this? Yeah, this was supposed to be a serious tweet, and we didn't classify it as complaining either, which is why we gave it a serious response earlier. They want us to fight in the comments. 1v Rust, Nuketown, headshots only.
Seeing professional developers actually going after their players, people will screenshot that, it will go viral, that will help set the narrative for the game, and people will actively wish for the game to die. And that's the craziest thing about this game. Usually there's some positives and negatives. I have to grasp at straws to find positives with this game. Where Halo factors into this, and this is the big point, I don't want Activision if they have such an ego working on our franchise. Activision, Infinity Ward, and really a lot of the Call of Duty developers for the longest time, they did whatever the hell they wanted.
Yeah, they pushed out all of the good, passionate people who knew what they were doing because they're problematic. They're hard to work with.
For years, they have gone against what players have wanted for Call of Duty, and that has seen a great decline in popularity in the franchise. The only reason why they're even listening a little bit now is because the franchise is actually going down the toilet. I don't want them to come across and make the game that they want. Whoever develops Halo, I don't care who does it, they need to respect legacy and make a Halo game that is truly worth the name.
or stop spending so much money. If you want to make a game that you want to make, you can't spend $400 million on it.
I posted my brutally honest thoughts about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. I touched on the skill-based matchmaking. I said the gunplay was pretty fun, but it feels so reminiscent of every single past Call of Duty year after year, I can't
But worse.
justify paying for the game when it's the same as last year.
And it's going to have a bunch of the same maps, and I bet most of those same maps that the other Call of Duties will have will still be the most popular maps.
I said the maps suck, and I also said it took me 2 hours to update my BIOS on my motherboard and re-enable secure boot, so many hoops to jump through just to play the damn game. And the problem is, all of those things are done to stop cheating, and there's still cheaters on the beta anyway.
Yeah, I fucking hate that. I'm a Linux player, so I don't get to play a lot of these games that have anti-cheat that are full of cheaters anyway, so I'm just locked out for no reason because the people who make these games are retarded.
Call of Duty actually publishes a tutorial on how to update your motherboard and your BIOS. The website they took me to actually gave me the
No other game does that. Why do you have to do that for Call of Duty? That's so fucking stupid.
wrong file for the motherboard. I said, I'm not using this. I'm going to go find the official brand, find the specific update I need, and use that instead. And thank God I did, otherwise I would have bricked my PC. And there's people in the comment section of said tutorial saying they bricked their PC because they used the wrong file to update their own motherboards. What is this franchise? I say that because what if they put that anti-cheat on Halo? What if
Lawsuits incoming.
all of these horrible, horrible things come to Halo? What if they make slopified slop for Halo?
Yeah, I'll give it to current Halo. I was able to play it on Linux. But if they move it on over to the COD devs, I will no longer be allowed to play on Linux.
That is a legitimate concern. If Activision and Infinity Ward have had 4 years and they can't even make something that a modicum of the player base enjoy, and then Xbox is lining them up to work on Halo in future, I don't want it. Am I the only one who feels this way? Trust needs to be earned, not given, and after playing
They need to be making games for me. All of these companies need to seek me out. Me. Only me. Find games that I want to play and make them. And I guarantee you, if I want to play them, everybody wants to play them.
the beta for 12 hours straight on the first day, and I played I used the regular weapons, I used the sniper, I used everything. It is just straight up not a good video game. Maybe I'd feel better if there was more variety. As I said, variety is the spice of life when it comes to video games. If I want to use a funny weapon or a funny class, want to run around with a knife, do goofy things like that, that's just not possible. Then because of the skill-based matchmaking, which expects me to drop so many kills at the time, I'm actively throwing the game. My teammates aren't good enough to carry if I just relax and goof off. That's not a good sign. For all of the good, there is probably 10 things that are bad. The worst thing of all is the matchmaking system, followed very closely by the maps, because if the maps aren't even good, I don't even want to play it. I also don't know why there's Captain Price from Temu. He looks horrible, and I don't know what they were thinking with that either. I am very curious to see how many people play this game. I am very curious to see what the sales numbers are going to be for this game. If even the Call of Duty content creators are fatigued after a day, they're not going to play it for very long, and if they're not going to play it for very long, and it's their job to play the game, I can't see casual people sticking around.
Are there any big games for like content creators to attach themselves to? Because we got like Marathon, we got Call of Duty, we got Halo. We got all of the free-to-play games that have been out for fucking a decade or more. We ain't got nothing right now for content creators to eat. Other than, like, random indie games and the, like, Chinese games.
I can't see tryhard sticking around. And if it's not for them, who the hell is going to play this game? Probably no one. I really think Call of Duty needs to stop being a yearly release. It is not doing the franchise any favors.
I don't think it's going to fix it to make a like, multi-year release. I don't think that's going to change anything. It might even make it worse because they're going to try and do too much.
People are tired of Call of Duty. I'm actually seeing people just wishing Call of Duty would go away, and that is never a good sign.
Just don't buy it. Stop buying it.
In any case, let me know what you think.
A lot of people I know that play Call of Duty buy every Call of Duty because they've always bought every Call of Duty, and they play it even though they hate it. And I watch them having a terrible time, but they still keep picking it up. It's like heroin, man. It all sucks except for when you get that really, really, really good high and then it's the greatest thing ever. I ain't into it. I'd rather have a good time the whole time.
think of Modern Warfare 4, I really wanted to like this game. I really wanted to go in and say, yes, I love this, love the sniping, hit registration was fantastic, had a blast, really great time. Even after getting really good gameplay, really good clips, felt like more of a chore than something I actually enjoyed. And video games are all about fun. It is funny because I would rather play Halo
Now, video games have become a job. You have to be good at everything about the video game, because that's how you be a successful streamer.
Campaign Evolved, I had more fun on that than Call of Duty. Even Gears of War, I had so much fun on that. I did not have fun on Call of Duty. I could not recommend it to you guys in all good conscience. Stay away from this game at all costs. There is even popular content creators saying do not buy Modern Warfare 4. I'm going to reiterate, do not buy Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. It is not a good game.
Yep. Eat up the goy slop, everybody. Buy yourselves a new Call of Duty. It's slightly different than the last dozen.
One of the biggest video game leaks of all time, and Rockstar Games and their parent company Take-Two Interactive have absolutely no idea who is behind it and how to stop them. That's where we are. We're multiple days into this, and there's no slowdown with the Grand Theft Auto 6 leaks, as Rockstar Games and Take-Two races to find any lead to get the whereabouts of this individual and finally stop them. As confirmed by Bloomberg's Jason Schreier's reporting, we know that Rockstar Games is struggling to find out even how this leak has happened. We've also seen that on the legal side, they have been extremely active over the last couple.
They had connections for all of their services through the internet into their hardware directly on the floor. I guarantee you this had something to do with a cloud service hack.
Of days, we have seen subpoenas sent over to Discord, Twitter X, Google, as well as Microsoft, all pushing to find any single mention of this cyber leak, anybody who has a connection to this person, and try and track them down. The problem also right now is that there is various users that have been LARPing as this person, or joking, just mentioning things in passing. But
even Jack's Films got in, and he was like, yeah, I beat GTA 6.
Rockstar Games, they are going to leave no stone unturned, and that is what's playing out right now in real life. In 2022, when Grand Theft Auto 6 suffered its first massive data breach in which 60 to 70 in-development videos of Grand Theft Auto 6 leaked, they were able to track down the teenager that was responsible within it felt like hours. That situation, though, very different than this one, and it is because
it really shows you the incompetence when a teenager can get in. Sure, a very, very smart teenager. But just imagine when a company that, you know, they have funds. They've got even more now because of the crypto ring that they're running. Imagine when they want to get into your company. And I bet that they're not the only ones. I bet there are other people that already have gotten in.
The individual behind this leak, hack, whatever you want to call it, cyber leak, is a little bit more sophisticated with hiding his identity. On hacking forums in 2022, the Teapot individual...
It's probably a team that's in like fucking Bangladesh or something.
Behind that leak, hackers were laughing about it because they knew who it was, and they made Rockstar and the authorities' job very, very easy with finding that. And this one, though, sophisticated. He knows what he's doing, he's hiding, and he's also making a lot of money off his cryptocurrency. All of this, though, is a massive problem for Rockstar Games,
honestly,
as the leaks just keep on.
Like, this guy is an anti-hero like the guy who leaked the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie.
And they seemingly struggled to identify who was responsible for what is arguably one of the biggest video game leaks of all time.
I think it literally is. If they drop the build, oh boy, this is going to be historical.
Now, one of the biggest leads apparently came the other day in which a Reddit account posted that they were friends of a friend of CyberLeak. This is a post that came about a month ago where somebody said, August 18th, look out for that date. And then just the other day responded to people saying, did you know about CyberLeak? And he's joked around saying, oh, he's just a friend of a friend. The problem is that Take-Two Interactive, the Rockstar Games community, took that serious. They believe that this was proof that this individual was behind the big Grand Theft Auto 6 leak, and you saw various individuals within this, TGG even making light of this, one of the biggest Grand Theft Auto YouTubers. They all went insane saying, imagine this guy is the CyberLeak. He knows who CyberLeak is. And Take-Two Interactive and Rockstar Games, they sent their investigators out to this individual to track him down and at least start a conversation and threaten him. Intimidation tactics, something that Rockstar Games and Take-Two,
they sent the goon squad,
especially, are very infamous. They've done this with Grand Theft Auto modders in the past. They've done this with Borderlands YouTubers in the past with stuff that they've posted.
I remember the YouTube thing for Borderlands because I used to be in the Borderlands community.
On their accounts and such. They have a reputation.
I think I covered it on this channel.
And this individual posted some tidbits of this conversation that he had with the private investigators. The first was the one that started getting a lot of people talking. And it was them knocking on his door saying that they were representing Rockstar Games.
How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad on yourself.
Sorry, what's your...
Yeah, how can I help? What's
Hi,
this about,
my
please?
name's David.
Okay.
I'm here on behalf of Rockstar.
Okay.
Now that is just the beginning of the situation, because next we have a 1-minute clip of this individual having, again, a discussion with these private investigators in which they accuse this person.
Yeah, I would be telling them to fuck right off, but I'm also American, so yeah, I'd be telling them to fuck right off. I'd be like, yeah, I know CyberLeak, get the fuck out of here.
Lewis, of knowing CyberLeak, concealing information about his identity.
Like, what are you gonna do about it, bitch? I'm just a friend of a friend. You can't do nothing.
They threaten him. They pretty much say that they'll give search warrants. They're going to go through his electronics
Rockstar gonna send search warrants
and track down who CyberLeak is. The problem, again, is that this individual, Lewis, was just making a joke online and had no idea what this was going to lead to.
Yeah, and that doesn't matter to Rockstar. This shit is actually dystopian when a mega corporation can just pay the authorities to go after you just because they don't like you.
Right, basically what they're saying is they're not happy with that.
They're not happy with it?
Nah.
Oh,
They're not happy. Obviously, what they're doing now is they're on the phone to the lawyers.
okay.
So,
I don't know what to tell you because that's 100% the story, so...
yeah, they're not happy with that. So I don't
So
know
what
if they've heard that from somewhere else or what.
Rockstar's
Well,
not
they're
happy.
happy.
They're talking about me?
Yeah.
Okay, so what, they're going to get a search warrant for my
Take two,
device?
whatever.
Don't know, not sure. But basically, they're on the phone to the lawyers now to sort of like your last chance to say.
Is this
Yeah.
a scare tactic to try
No,
and
it's
get me
not.
to fess up?
It's not. We're not looking for any fess up. We're not looking for... Basically, what we're after is, do you know certain individuals under certain handles?
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, please. I wish he would have said yes. He probably denies it. I would have said yes. I would have straight up lied to them because these people aren't law enforcement. Especially if this was in the United States, they definitely aren't.
No.
give
them bad information.
That's what we're after.
Don't do that to cops. But if it's just like random bozos coming up to your house who are there for take two because you may know somebody who leaked a video game, get fucked.
Ultimately, that's what they're after, and I think it keep on pushing that because obviously, at the end of the day, if you put something out online, then guess the date just due to pure chance. Hard to.
You're being investigated on the pure chance. You have been determined that you are guilty before proven innocent.
The only reason,
being honest.
well, the only reason I checked Rockstar is what we do.
And as you can see, yeah, the private goons, they definitely
You know what I think about Take-Two and Rockstar? You're gay!
know what they're doing here. And this was just the beginning of a conversation because, as they alluded to, they got Take-Two lawyers on the line, which again accused Lewis of knowing who CyberLeak is and trying to hide his identity.
Oh man, yeah. Oh fuck, they would have a heyday with me.
And I have to next add that I actually had a conversation with Lewis, and he added a lot more details about what exactly has happened here and how this has led to just a giant shitstorm, to say at the very least. But he does go into detail about the specific threats that Take-Two Interactive's lawyers and these PIs used against him. He mentions how they already knew much of his identity, his travels to America, how the FBI is involved. He mentions
A video game company just asked for the information. Just imagine some bad actor that just wanted to go get the information. Apparently, it's just easy to obtain.
the scare tactics of bringing about what happened to the 2022 leaker and how he's in jail. His connection to another YouTuber, Larry Lawson, is also brought up here. There's just a lot here, including how his family is.
My take on GTA, if you buy a Rockstar game, you're goyim. You are a fucking moron. You hate everything that's going on in the world, yet you still keep funding it. You deserve what you fucking get, which is slop. Eat it up, piggies.
It's a bit shaken based on how these events have inspired. But we're going to start first with how this all began. The first knock at his door, in which he mentions that he was awoken to all of them.
Yeah, well, because my mum woke me up. I was just got off a night shift. I was sleeping, and then she said, "There's 2 men at the door." So I'm immediately thinking I'm gonna have to get into a fight here. I thought I was about to get killed. So I start recording, and you hear in the first video that I posted, I sounded a little bit nervous. But in the a minute longer video, once I realised who they were, it was a site I relieved and said they were from Rockstar. I was like, "Oh, thank
They're
that,
from
you know what I mean?
Rockstar.
'Cause, you know how it is, but yeah.
So as Lewis says there, two men approached his door. They were looking for him, and he didn't know what their motivation or anything. He thought that they were...
What is this that I'm looking at right now? This looks like shit. This car looks like it's floating above the road. Is this the definitive edition GTA? It looks very blocky and gross.
There maybe to fight him. I don't know exactly Lewis's history or what's exactly going on over there in the UK, but he definitely thought that this was going to be a fight or something along those lines, not Rockstar Games investigators there to talk to him about Reddit posts that he made. Next, though, Lewis goes over what he initially tells these private investigators, that he was literally just trying to predict Trailer 3. He didn't expect that this was going to turn into something as massive as it has been.
But I said to them, look, I just predicted Trailer 3 as a mid-August Tuesday, and it turned out that the leaks happened on that day, and then they fucking somehow tied that in with me and being cyberleaked. I was trying to annoy the people in that Reddit on purpose, because they don't appreciate Rockstar, and they were bitching about the game. So I was just shit posting to troll them, and then it backfired, but it is what it is.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is an example of how jokes...
Yeah, you're not allowed to joke anymore.
...can go terribly wrong, in which you have...
especially if you're in the UK.
...private investigators by your doorstep, not believing anything you're saying.
By the way, a lot of people think that Rockstar is an American company. They are not. They're from the UK.
And this entire fiasco is something that, who knows if this is the end for Lewis. Like, we could see an update soon that these private investigators are back and now have warrants for his electronic devices. But it definitely sounds like to me that this...
They have warrants for his electronic devices, even though he didn't do anything.
...was just a troll, a joke. He just didn't expect that this is the direction that things were going to go in.
So that tells you everything that you need to know, that corporations, if they want to go after you, they can. Because they can just pay the authorities to go after you. They don't even have to actually pay them directly like a bribe. It's just the connections that corporations have to governments.
This is serious stuff, especially being that this is one of the biggest franchises ever, and billions of dollars are at stake, and they have everything. They have to track down this CyberLeak individual, because if they don't, there's the possibility spoilers and some massive damaging footage could get out. That's the big unknown that right now they face, and all of us. But Lewis next goes over the reality of this situation and how his Reddit account is very public, has a bunch of identifying information. It doesn't make sense why he would put out just there saying like, I know CyberLeak, he's my BFF, we're friends of friends. It was clearly a joke. Unfortunately, though, the Rockstar community already was doxing him.
Yeah, Rockstar made this worse. If they wouldn't have done something like this straight up out in the open where everybody could see it online, then you wouldn't have so many people now saying that they know CyberLeak or that they are CyberLeak, making everything much, much more difficult for you. You fucking morons. You deserve what you get.
Awful bitch!
Even before, it seems like these Take-Two investigators were investigating him. They're putting out all this information about him, creating like a manifesto. So yeah, this individual is right now facing the full wrath of the Grand Theft Auto community, because many of them do believe that he is hiding information about this CyberLeak identity.
Yeah, well, you know what the funny thing is people are going crazy, but why would I post something serious on my main Reddit account with all public information about me? I mean, there's so much identifying shit on there that I don't care about. Like, why would I do stupid? I mean, my dad, before he passed, he was into all the cybersecurity shit. I'm pretty clued up on that stuff, and I know that doesn't matter. They still bypass that, but...
So up to this point in time of recording this video, Lewis has released 2 videos showing these private investigators approaching and their initial discussion with Lewis. But Lewis next goes over what exactly happened after. He talks about the scare...
But honestly, good for Lewis, because now he's part of gaming history. Everybody's going to know Lewis as the guy that Rockstar tried to take down over a joke.
Tactics that they used, including the mention that the FBI is involved and are going to be investigating all of this as well.
And then they went back to their cars and they were talking to each other. I could see them out of the...
FBI? Aren't they in the UK? What the fuck does the FBI got to do with this?
Upstairs window.
A video game, by the way!
In my house, and I think they were working out a new tactic or a different angle to come at me with, because initially they tried to intimidate me with big words, mentioning the FBI, and said they're on the case and stuff, and I didn't buy any of it, and then sort of went back, had a chat, and then come back, and then got the Take-Two lawyers on the phone, and I think that was their next intimidation step, but again, that didn't work, and then they sort of looked pretty confused on what to say. They stood there silent in my house, texting, so yeah, and then they stopped.
Good for this guy for taking it like a champ. and actually going through all their rigmarole to get all this information, because I wouldn't have done that. I would have fucked everything up.
So next up, Lewis goes over his first conversation with the Take-Two lawyers, and like the private investigators, like that initial video that he shared online, they do not believe him. They do not care what he has to say. They believe that he knows who CyberLeak is, and they want answers.
Yeah, I spoke to the Take-Two lawyers, and they said, look, we're all sitting around the table. This is your last chance to be honest with us.
Yeah, I would have been like, yeah, sue me, bitch. I know everything. I know who the guy is. I know where he goes for lunch. I'm going to have dinner with him on Saturday at the Golden Corral.
Or this is going to get worse for you. And I'm like, all right, well, I told you the truth, and I'm not going to lie to you, kid.
I will.
I said that. That's on record. So I was like, you know, you just woke me up coming to my door with this bullshit. I told you the truth. If you don't like it, you can off or do something about it. That's the way it is.
And yeah, as you heard in that video, he clearly mentions that the FBI is investigating.
The FIB, the FIB.
And I do wonder their role within this entire trackdown.
Isn't that so fucking ironic? Where they're talking about working with the FBI, and they used to make fun of the FBI.
If they are working closely with Take-Two lawyers to
they have become everything that they've parodied in their previous games.
Give them information on these individuals to then contact them and such. It's unclear exactly what the FBI is doing here. But again, Take-Two Interactive, massive company, billions of dollars, them having more of a role with the authorities would make a lot of sense, especially because in 2022, they had a lot of access with the UK police and the FBI. They were all investigating the hacker, and that seemingly is exactly what's going down right now with CyberLeak. Although this time around, they're not having much luck so far with finding.
They're actively making things worse.
And they're just trying to find any lead possible. And I think that's what this is. They're throwing anything at the wall, just hoping that it sticks. But so far, there just isn't much here. Although, unfortunately for Lewis, they're ready to turn his life upside down just off the sliver of hope that maybe he's being serious and maybe he's not joking and he is best friends with this guy CyberLeak. Although that would make no sense with any of this, because I don't think CyberLeak would be that sloppy. And I think that's the feeling that a lot of people have on this.
Absolutely. Look how crazy this is going on the internet. Some conspiracy theories.
It is.
And they're actively monitoring my Reddit, and they see the that I'm putting on there. Because when they were in my house, they actually said to me, the lawyers have told us what you put on your Reddit. And I said, yeah, I'm well within my fucking right to tell them what's going on. You know, you haven't charged me with a crime. I'm allowed to speak about it. There's not an ongoing court case against me, but apparently I'm being looked at by the FBI, so they're probably scrutinizing trips to America.
He's not. They probably looked and were like, yeah, it's not this guy.
Did they mention that? Did they mention the FBI?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all on record, sir. And they mentioned my trips to America because I've been there.
So they already knew that stuff about you? They already knew, like, oh, you've
it's not hard to find.
Been to America? We already have access to all who you are, Lewis, and all of that?
Yeah. So I don't know how this is going to affect long term, if they're going to cancel my visas and shit. I don't know. But I'm not worried about it. I'll just see what happens and play it out.
Next, though, you need to understand who Larry Lawton is. This individual, his relationship with Lewis is weaponized. So Lewis in the past served as a...
I know Larry Lawton. I know this guy. Isn't he the... Yeah, he's the jewel thief. I saw him on a podcast. What was it, the Sean Ryan podcast?
A live stream moderator for Larry Lawton. And Lawton apparently in the past has talked about how he has some sort of relation. People will have to track that down. I'm not entirely sure if that's actually accurate, but it's something that Lewis has said on his social media account. He says that he is...
I believe him. Dude is kind of a badass.
He's a good friend. I worked for him as a moderator before his live streams. He has a connection with GTA 6, I believe, from a statement that he has made. But people, including Take-Two Interactive, seemingly imply, or they basically say it to him, that Larry Lawton, maybe that he's an insider for Larry Lawton, and that's the actual individual behind all of this. And Larry Lawton is a YouTuber. He runs a channel. He's actually interviewed people like Ned Luke in the past. He's also done breakdowns for Grand Theft Auto, but he's known...
I don't think that this guy's going to be doing that.
For being an ex-convict, and he's talking...
He would make so much more money and clout from just riding on the coattails of GTA. Why would he be a leaker?
Talked about his experiences of jewel heists and stuff in the past, and that's relevant to a game like Grand Theft Auto. He's had a bunch of mega viral videos in the past.
Well, he's a criminal. He does heists, and he's a thief. Of course he's involved with the cyber leaks.
But seemingly that relationship, the fact that Lewis was a live stream moderator, gets weaponized by Take-Two Interactive.
They tried to bring up my connection with the YouTuber Larry Lawton. So he came out one time. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a big YouTuber. He went to prison. He was a big jewel thief or whatever. And he does podcasts.
I've heard of him, yeah.
But yeah, they tried to tie him into it as well and say that his connection with Rockstar Games, because he's come out publicly and said in one of his that he's working with them on something. They've now said that he's mine.
So they're throwing that dude under the bus, saying that he's possibly got something to do with this, just straight up making that relationship toxic. Well, okay. All right, then.
Insider, but I don't talk to the guy regularly. You know, he's just somebody I know and I've worked for in the past.
Yeah, my view on this is just that Take-Two and they're grasping at straws, trying to believe, I guess, that these intimidation scare tactics are going to get him to confess to something that I think he obviously didn't. But they do go on to mention, this is another scare tactic, the 2022 leaker, and they use what happened to that individual in which they were put in a jail, although I think it's like some sort of asylum because there are mental issues been going on. But they pretty much say that, look what happened to that guy. Could happen to you if, you know, you actually do know what's happening here. And again, they don't believe anything he's saying. They don't believe that he was just hinting at Trailer 3.
But the lawyers on loudspeaker on the phone, and I can't remember what he said, but they said, no, I told them the same story, and they said they're not buying it. And they sat around the table in New York, and they basically told me what they did in the 2022 leaker after they found him to try and intimidate me and sort of pushing me to come clean about something.
Oh, man. Fuck, man. I wish they'd investigate me, because I'd come clean. I'd tell them all of the information. It'd all be bad information.
And yes,
yeah, he's my best friend.
Yeah, that's really what
So yeah, after all of these...
Actually, I am the leaker.
Accusations, all of these crazy theories that Take-Two lawyers and the private investigators are throwing at Lewis, they leave. But they don't, there's no definitive end to this situation because they literally just leave. He has no idea what to expect, what's to come, if anything.
No, they left. They were stood in my house. They were waiting some lawyers in New York to call them back, so they said, and then without saying a word, they just left and drove off. Obviously, I left the house, moved my stuff, come back, and they were still there. And yeah, so I'm expecting to get arrested at any moment. You know, it's 3 a.m. I'm just waiting for the front door to go.
So after this discussion about...
Yeah, he's probably going to get arrested by the UK government because he was telling jokes online. You can't do that in the UK. Jokes are illegal.
What exactly happened with these investigators and all of this, I did again ask Lewis, does he know who CyberLeak is? And he made crystal clear he has absolutely no idea who this individual is.
Well, of course he'd say that.
Many expletives would.
Yeah, I ain't got a fucking clue. And, I put that post up saying August 18th, don't ask me how I know. And I was just taking the piss, you know. And then it turned out to actually on that day, and I'm like, oh.
Lewis then further adds that he was completely honest with these investigators. He said exactly what happened to them, and he's ultimately ready for wherever this goes. Whether that brings them to court, he doesn't care. He thinks it's going to be absolutely hilarious if they go to those lengths with this situation.
Oh, I hope they do.
Yeah, absolutely. And the best part is that I was completely upfront and honest with them. And I told them exactly what had happened, and now they want to make it a big deal, so I'm all for it. If they take me to court, I hope they arrest me publicly. I want to be on news because it'll be a story. I don't give a shit. I'll laugh about it in 2 years.
And he's not just going to be on the news. This is going to be an international situation on social media.
Years time, and I'll be having a great time. So I don't give a shit. I'm just sat here smoking a cigarette, waiting for the door to get kicked in or blown off by SAS soldiers.
And like many watching, Lewis is another Grand Theft Auto fan. He's eagerly anticipating GTA 6, but all he was doing in his eyes...
But for all of the wrong reasons.
Shitposting on social media, making a couple jokes with the GTA community, and didn't think too much of it. But when you're dealing with billion-dollar companies, they take this stuff very, very seriously, and this is the consequence. It really is a great lesson on the dangers of being a little too open on social media or making jokes about situations that, at least in Take-Two eyes, it's not a joke. And right now they are struggling. They can't find the CyberLeak guy and any mention of it.
I know who CyberLeak is. I know where he is. I know what he's doing. I know when he poops. Come get me, Rockstar.
On any single website, they are using that as an investigation tool. I have to assume that they're sending investigators all across the world for any possibility of finding this guy. But thus far, it doesn't seem like any of these leads have gone anywhere. Still, though, I did ask Lewis if he has a message for Rockstar Games and Take-Two Interactive. And again, a lot of expletives said, but he does have a message.
Yeah, you can go f*** yourself personally because, look, I'm a 19-year-old from Suffolk, England. I don't give a f*** what anybody knows about me or what anybody says they're going to do. You can come do something about it. I'm not related to this at all. I'm not scared by your big corporation, your $1 billion like that. I do not give you. Come do it. Give me a story to tell.
Badass.
That's my message to Rockstar and Take-Two and those lawyers.
Ultimately, though,
Based. I need a based button.
The consequences of this entire ordeal isn't just something linked to Take-Two investigators coming to his door. It's also linked to the fact that people on social media are, some of these diehard GTA fans will send just nasty things. They also want him to monetize this entire ordeal, this situation. It's a lot, and there's a lot of conspiracies about his name and everything. It's just crazy how overboard this fan base can be at times.
I mean, there's people making crypto coins in my name, and
are they really?
The funny part, and yeah, there was people sparring about what Pilot X19 meant. I'm just like, that was my dad's old Reddit name. It's like not some weird Illuminati secret society crap. I mean, seriously.
And the final touch of this interview that I wanted to bring up was the emotional toll this has been on Lewis's family, having these investigators approach, making these just insane accusations. And Lewis does talk about how there's been doxing. People are already doing that for him. I showed some of that off earlier on the video. There's also been threats that have been levied against him. Like I said, some of these people in this GTA fan base go way over.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you got a game that's that big, of course you're going to have a whole bunch of retards behind it, whole bunch of scary degenerates who are willing to murder you, to like send the SWAT to your house over some just random information that you found online. And then you go through all of these brain traps and go through these cycles and all of these conspiracies, all these conspiracy theories, I mean, and you convince yourself that it's all fucking real. And it's a game that they're playing. They're playing a game because they're waiting to play GTA. And they're taking it very, very serious because they take their GTA game playing very, very serious. If you fuck up their game while they're playing GTA 5, if you fuck up their session that they've been working on for 3 hours, they will SWAT you.
And this entire ordeal, it seems like there is some pure hatred for this CyberLeak guy. Some of these people will go to bat for a company like Rockstar Games. I don't understand.
Those people are fucking deranged.
It, but yes, people are diehard fans, and that some are really, really that mad about all of this.
Yeah, but I'm not going to let them get away with it that easy, coming to my door and bringing my family home and scaring my
I don't blame you.
Shit, like, and trying to intimidate me. So they better compensate me, because people are acting me death threats, trying to dox me like that. Not that I give a.
Yeah, you're gonna have to sue him, brother.
But because if you're going to come do something, come do it and just see what happens. But
yeah, that's why I was curious earlier. Was your family at all alarmed by what was happening with all of this?
Absolutely. I mean, my mother's in a high emotional state. She just lost her husband, and then for this to be brought upon us isn't great. So, but,
over a video game,
handles the consequences. I don't care.
Over a video game and a joke on Reddit.
Anyway, this is just an absolute bizarre first-hand account of somebody talking with Take-Two investigators. I mean, this is something that's happened over the years, but having an account like this and even some footage of it, it's just kind of crazy. But it shows the seriousness of this Grand Theft Auto 6 situation, and it also exposes some of the actual things going on behind the scenes, how the authorities are working alongside Take-Two and Rockstar to track down and find who this leaker is. But again, doesn't seem like they're having much luck right now. I do want to thank Lewis for taking the time very late to have this interview, discussion about what exactly happened. And I do think there is a lesson to be learned here, and it really is. You just got to be careful when joking about even a video game, something like this. This is billion-dollar company.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Don't be careful. We got free speech over here in America, baby. It sucks the dude was over in the UK. Maybe he should be in America.
They take this stuff so serious.
That place is a shithole.
And especially a company like Take-Two Interactive, they have a reputation for this type of stuff, and we don't know where if this is the end of this. Are they going to apply search warrants? That's the big thing. These threats,
probably.
Are they empty threats? There's just no clarity on that for the time being. But this is a company that right now is very desperate to find this person, and right now there's not much luck happening. But I will have Lewis's social medias linked down below if you want to listen to him or have discussion about this situation, because he is very open, talking about how he is innocent, and he's really trying to clear his name with it. Let me know your thoughts on this entire ordeal down in the comments section below.
Rockstar, I got a message for you.
You're gay!